So a very warm welcome to Cittaviveka Buddhist Monastery and the Sunday evening guided meditation. So tonight it's also the observance night. So the idea is to have first we'll start with a guided meditation, after which we'll offer a short reflection in connection with that. And then for anybody who wishes to stay on to do a vigil up until midnight, but it's optional today, so it's an optional vigil for anybody who would like to stay on afterwards, after the reflection. So today we also had a lay forum here at the monastery, and the topic for this time was slow spiritual practice within our speed-obsessed culture. So that was the topic, and I thought I would follow up on this topic with the meditation and also the reflection, and how to approach spiritual practice. And I assume it was pointing to this attitude of everything has to be so quick results, get what we want now, no looking at the short term, and not looking so much at the long term, investing in something that might take a long time to develop, but at the same time can be very fulfilling. So how do we find the motivation to do that, and how can we turn to something that will actually give us some lasting peace, lasting happiness, fulfillment, satisfaction? And also, of course, another aspect to this can be to approach it from a mind perspective. So probably most of us will feel that when we sit down in a place, calm, peaceful place like this, with no particular distractions, that the mind is still quite speed up. There's a lot of things going on. And how do we slow that down? And why do we want to? So in order to slow things down, especially this automatic thinking, the automatic proliferation of the mind, to gain some kind of control or taming of the mind, meditation is of course a very, very useful tool for this. And when the mind has reached some level of calm, we can also investigate and see what is actually the underlying causes of the mind speeding up in the first place. What is it looking for? So I thought we would approach this topic in the guided meditation. And to start with, we'll start with some chanting. So this can be one very useful way to begin a meditation session, if the mind is very distracted, if there's a lot of things going on, a lot of thinking, it can be difficult to focus on a subtle object immediately, like the breath, for example. And then one approach is to use a bit more active techniques like chanting, and then catch that speed up energy and use it to for one object, for one activity, and in that way gradually gain control over the mind, calm the mind down. So chanting can be a very skillful first step in this process. So we'll start on page page 19, dedication of offerings in English. And that's volume 1, the dark brown chanting book. And after that I will call out some more pages, but we'll start on page 19. To the Blessed One, the Lord who fully attained perfect enlightenment, to the teaching which he expounded so well, and to the Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well, to these, the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, we render with offerings our rightful homage. It is well for us that the Blessed One, having attained liberation, still had compassion for later generations. May these simple offerings be accepted for our long-lasting benefit and for the happiness it gives us. The Lord, the perfectly enlightened and Blessed One, I render homage to the Buddha, the Blessed One. The teaching so completely explained by him, I bow to the Dhamma. The Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well, I bow to the Sangha. Now let us pay preliminary homage to the Buddha. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and perfectly enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and perfectly enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and perfectly enlightened One. And we can go to page 41. which is the reflection on universal well-being in English. Now let us chant the reflections on universal well-being. May I abide in well-being, in freedom from affliction, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may I maintain well-being in myself. May everyone abide in well-being, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may they maintain well-being in themselves. May all beings be released from all suffering, and may they not be parted from the good fortune they have attained when they act upon intention. All beings are the owners of their action and inherit its results. Their future is born from such action, companion to such action, and its results will be their home. All actions with intention, be they skillful or harmful, of such acts they will be the heirs. And then lastly, page 55, 5 subjects for frequent recollection. And here we do both Pali and English. Handamayanga binapachawe kanapatang manamase jara dhammo mijarang anatito. I am of the nature to age. I have not gone beyond aging. Bayadi dhammo mi bayading anatito. I am of the nature to sicken. I have not gone beyond sickness. Marana dhammo mi maranang anatito. I am of the nature to die. I have not gone beyond dying. Sabehi me piyehi mana pehi nana bhavo vina bhavo. All that is mine, beloved and pleasing, will become otherwise, will become separated from me. Kamma sakomi kamma dayado kamma yoni kamma bandhu kamma patisarano yang kammang karisami kalayanang wa papakang wa tasadayado bhavisami. I am the owner of my kamma, heir to my kamma, born of my kamma,
related to my karma, abide supported by my karma. Whatever karma I shall do, for good or for ill, of that I will be the heir. Ewang amhehi abinhang pachawe kitabang. Thus we should frequently recollect.
Okay, so please assume a comfortable meditation posture. Finding a posture that seems to work for us, for our body. Whatever cushions we need or a chair. To feel grounded, settled in. Just able to relax at the spot we've chosen. Just recollecting that we are in a peaceful place, surrounded by peaceful people, a friendly place, accepting, a place where we can feel safe, can relax. For now we can put down whatever worries, issues or problem we had throughout the day. And see if we can make the mind, or at least the thinking, slower. Slow down a bit. Let the mind rest, regain energy, strength. The mind gains strength, gains energy when it's still, when it's stable, when it's settled. Maybe first just to clarify that slowing down here doesn't mean that we become lazy or passive or unaware. Here what it's pointing to is a slowing or maybe even stopping of obsessive, automatic not useful proliferation of the mind. often a very good starting point is just to take 3 to 5 very long, deep breaths, slow breaths, calming the body, calming the breathing, which has a very close relationship to our thinking. Then when the mind is very agitated, it's very quick, a lot of distraction in the mind, it can be very difficult to catch hold of those thoughts, of those energies directly. So often what's helpful is to work indirectly, working with the breath, working with the body. Starting with a few very long breaths and then putting our attention in the body. First of all, just establishing a sense of being grounded, feeling the contact with the mat or the floor or the chair. Feeling supported, grounded, settled. And slowly moving our attention through the body, relaxing various parts, the tensions that's built up. Starting at the forehead, just gently placing the attention on the forehead. Just letting it relax. Then slowly moving our attention a bit further down around the eyes, eyebrows. Just checking in, see if any tension has built up, and just allowing it to relax. Just moving the attention around the face, various muscles of the face, with a sense of both kindness to the body, relaxing, kindness to ourselves, and also a sense of interest. Wanting to learn how we tense up, where we tend to build up tension in the body. Getting to know ourselves. Maybe even exploring parts of the body which we normally don't pay attention to, as back of the head, back of the neck. Feeling it out and relaxing whatever tension we find. Further down to the shoulders. Letting the shoulders drop, no need to hold any tension. Just for a moment, checking how this initial relaxation has affected our thoughts or the breath. Is there any change? Can you notice anything different? From time to time to review the effects of our actions, of our practice. This can be done like this in a very small way. If we see some kind of tendency or direction where this seems to take us. if we develop this skill of reviewing, of understanding cause and effect, what leads to what, it can be a very, very useful tool in our practice to evaluate our own practice. And this skill can be built up like this, very easy, very simple cause and effect relationships. Continuing further down to the heart area, checking for tensions and just relaxing whatever tension we find. Continuing down to the abdomen. Is there any tension or anxiety, fear? And what happens with that if we relax the body? Down to around the hips. Do we have any tension there? And the legs and feet, scanning through. Making the body more easeful, more comfortable. When we reach the end of the feet, we just reverse direction, go back up again. This second time we see if we can relax a little bit deeper, on a deeper level. again, just reviewing the results of this very simple method. Are there any changes taking place? How does the body feel? How's the mind? Trying to arise skillful qualities like mindfulness, sense of awareness, presence, also wisdom faculty, investigating, looking for tension. Trying to understand how we build up tension in various parts of the body. Trying to arouse a sense of interest around that, around something that is very much for our own well-being. And hopefully these qualities will take a bigger and bigger part of the mind and replace, at least temporarily, the more automatic, obsessive, distracted thinking. We arise and develop the wholesome qualities, and we let go or abandon or drop the unwholesome. For a little while, maybe you found a particular place where there's a lot of tension or maybe anxiety or worry. Just staying there with a kind, gentle attention, just relaxing, allowing it to relax. hopefully this way of relaxing has calmed the mind down to some degree, so we're able to focus on a more subtle object. So we'll move our attention to the breath. Just feeling sensations of in-breathing coming in from the nose, down to the heart or chest area, further down to the abdomen. And on the out breath, reverse direction from the abdomen up to the heart area, out through the nose. Just keeping the attention as continuous as we can. With a sense of we are doing this for our own well-being, for the well-being of the body and mind, out of kindness, not forcefulness. And if we can see that the mind is calming down, at least to some degree, we can reflect that with a sense of appreciation or thankfulness or gratitude that we have found a method, we have found a way to actually calm down all these sometimes chaotic thoughts. Maybe we've found something with the potential, at least, for true happiness, fulfillment, peace. Some glimpse of it. And see if this sense of appreciation, feeling of appreciation, can give rise to a sense of joy. This joy in turn allows us to stay more easily with the breath, with the meditation. becomes a pleasant place to be. And if while we are using these kind of reflections we lose ourselves in other thinking, we just gently move back to the sensations of the breath. The calm and gentle rhythm, the in and out breathing. Just letting the mind settle, focus and gather around this sense of joy or ease, pleasantness that's hopefully arising to some degree. and again, just reviewing our state of mind, state of body. Is there any difference compared to when we started this meditation? What are those differences and what caused them? Just learning. This can be one way to try to make the mind clear, observant, easeful, ready to explore, trying to find the causes, the deeper causes of why the mind speeds up in the first place. Where all those obsessions and cravings come from. just offer a few reflections on the same theme. So the theme for the lay forum is slow spiritual practice within our speed-obsessed culture. So we can ask ourselves, what is it that's speed-obsessed and why? I thought to just look at it from a mind perspective. So very often I would say that we look for happiness, we look for pleasure, pleasant feeling in various ways. And one way to find pleasant feeling or to find some sort of happiness is through craving. We want something for ourselves, want to consume something that makes us happy, so to speak. So we search it out and we find it, maybe some kind of food or other sense object. We find it and we in this case we eat it, and there is pleasure, there is happiness. It's a nice dinner, it's a nice restaurant or something like this. And it seems to work. We get happiness, we get pleasure. And this is quite an innocent type of craving. But quite soon after we would like something else. It satisfied us only for a short time. So we need to find something else, and then something else, and then something else, and something else. And often it's also an increase in intensity that's needed in order to provide the same amount of happiness or pleasure. And of course we notice the relationship between having the desire and then fulfilling the desire, which gives a sense of pleasure, a sense of happiness. So we want to shorten that time between the two. So the sooner we can get what we want, just one click away, we get something, the better, because then the quicker we can get the pleasure, of course. But this also means that everything speeds up. So we need to get things quicker and quicker. And that means also that the mind speeds up, the craving speeds up, and it starts to, possibly at least, get out of control, get out of hand. And we often, sometimes, of course, we can maybe stop this, but often we don't know how to stop it. Once it's started, it just keeps going. How do we stop it? How do we stop all this thinking? We just get lost. We get stuck. Maybe sometimes we can't get what we want. Sometimes there's somebody else who wants the same thing as we do. We get into conflict. So this is one way of finding happiness, but it can often bring also a sense of dissatisfaction when we don't get it or when we don't have it. And there's no guarantee that we will get it. So this is what we often talk about searching for sensual pleasures and the drawbacks of it. then the Buddha, he also talked about other ways of finding happiness, finding ease. And one way we try to explore tonight through meditation, spiritual practice. And here the approach is somewhat different. Trying to still those desires, still those cravings. And that in itself leads to a sense of peace, relaxation, of ease. So if we have, for example, in meditation we have a craving for ice cream. So one way would be, of course, to get some ice cream and eat it. The other way would be, oh, here's a craving, and drop it, let it go. And then there's a sense of ease as well. And the Buddha, he promises that this type of spiritual practice, this type of development has a really very, very great potential to take us all the way to complete freedom, complete peace. No more dissatisfaction, suffering. However, the problem with this type of happiness is that it's slow. It takes a long time to develop these things. It doesn't take that long to open the fridge and eat some ice cream. But it takes quite a long time to develop the mindfulness and wisdom to be able to drop those kind of cravings, at least on a consistent basis. So one needs to have patience, endurance, and a willingness to invest in the long term. Willingness to go beyond quick fixes, quick hits, find something that potentially at least can provide real, lasting fulfillment, satisfaction, ease. This is not an easy transition, not an easy change to make in approach. Very often it requires, or not requires, but comes through a very maybe painful experience we had. Maybe we lost somebody we love, or got into a depression or something like this, and we realize that way just doesn't work. Has limitations. So we would like to find some other path, other way. And on the path there's a lot of things that we need, I think at least, in order to keep us going, to keep that long-term goal in mind. So one can just be a community, like-minded people. We can also need to regularly reflect on various things, what we're doing and why. The chant we did earlier before the meditation contains the line that everything that we like or love will change, disappear. Can sound a bit depressing sometimes, but it's also just a reminder to strive for something greater, that there's a greater possibility. Also just seeing people around us, maybe teachers, other people we find inspiring that have actually seemed to have found something, that it is possible for other people, so why not for me? And just hearing their encouragements of to not give up, keep going. Yes, it's slow, but maybe it's also the only really worthwhile pursuit. Okay, so I offer this for your reflection this evening, and we can close with the chant of sharing merits, and then afterwards, whoever would like to stay for the vigil, please feel free to stay, and if you would like to depart, please feel very free to do so as well. So page 33 in the dark brown chanting book.
Now let us chant the verses of sharing and aspiration. Through the goodness that arises from my practice, may my spiritual teachers and guides of great virtue, my mother, my father, and my relatives, the sun and the moon, and all virtuous leaders of the world, may the highest gods and evil forces, celestial beings, guardian spirits of the earth, and the Lord of death, may those who are friendly, indifferent, or hostile the blessings of my life. May they soon attain the threefold bliss and realize the deathless through the goodness that arises from my practice, and through this act of sharing. May all cravings and attachments quickly cease, and all harmful states of mind, until I realize Nibbana in every kind of birth. May I have an upright mind, with mindfulness and wisdom, austerity and vigor. May the forces of delusion not take hold, nor weaken my resolve. The Buddha is my excellent refuge. Unsurpassed is the protection of the Dhamma. The solitary Buddha is my noble guide. The Sangha is my supreme support. Through the supreme power of all these, may darkness and delusion be dispelled.
Okay, so please, whoever would like to stay up for the vigil or for some time more, please feel free to stay meditating. And for anybody who needs to go or wishes to depart, thank you very much for tonight, and I hope something has been useful. Okay, have a very good evening.